Greetings, good day to everyone. I want to share with you a writing that I make and is titled To Our Rulers in Planet Earth. I believe that God has never wished that there were these hierarchies on earth like kings, slits, sultans, presidents, caliphs, sheiks, pharaohs, czars, emperors, dictators, czars, neither other nobility in this world, in this planet Earth, or at least not like only ruler of a land mass like a country, and of a great many people, currently millions of human beings, for the simple reason that they cannot, with all the problems of the world, neither with at present be able to never more takes a resolution and solving everything. Need a lot of support, help of many people to his around, and not always are surrounded by the best human beings next to them. I believe that frontiers were made to delimit a part of the territory and making it national and constituting part of every country in each continent of the planet. I believe that each fraction of land should be free and sovereign, the same as the people, with free will. Every human being has rights and obligations that we must respect and fulfill and enforce. For example, of owning a fraction of land and forming a family according to your capabilities and possibilities. I believe that the riches of the earth and natural resources belong to everyone and for well-being of all of the town or the national territory, and if surplus, other national territories can be improved with investment and infrastructure. I believe that neither a single person should be the owner of a hill, mountain, or mountain range, a river, lake, sea, ocean, stream, a mine, a reef, waterhole, grotto, spring, an oil or gas field, or any other element, material, or compound of the periodic table. I believe that not even a single person should be absolute and total owner of a jungle, beach, forest, tundra, swamp, glen, desert, a volcano, a cloud, the air, the sky, or the space. Neither of the world himself, neither of other worlds. Even if you own large tracts of land for some motive and is within the aforementioned and within the land of your property, I believe that all the mentioned about is progressed naturally by divinity and takes millions of years developing, transforming, growing up, and flourishing. God is the intellectual creator of the beginning of everything and the end of all. And only He is the only sole absolute owner of everything and put it there for the blessing of every members of planet Earth, for a public interest, not for a get rich a single person or a small group of people with the same types of interests. Always forgetting the helpless of the unprotected. Let's imagine it for a moment that could have discovered all the natural resources 1,000 years ago, and and today we will not have neither a single nugget or a drop of oil or gas or precious gem, zero natural resources, and our way of thinking and of living at present, it would be very different. We would live as before the natural resources were discovered. We would live only from fishing, hunting, livestock, agriculture, commerce, and the craft manufacturing, etc. They don't remember that there is the worldwide consumer behavior after, after the Industrial Revolution around the years 1800 and after globalization or mondialization. Previously, there was not this materialism or was used very little, only kings and noblemen was used, and other powerful landowners, etc. They had access to materialism and vanity, but the people living that way without materialism, they were happy, and their roots and their descendants were progressing. No one of the previous resources feeds or removes hunger but itself. Nothing of the above is eatable, nor can it an end to extreme poverty for it alone. Good management of them is needed by a person worldwide and is well seen in the eyes of God. Although in theory it would be supposed to make it, that is to say, to put end to hunger and poverty, but the truth is that we are millions light years of distance of the real world and the truth. And it is almost humanly impossible to eradicate hunger, which should be the main objective of every ruler over the world, of every president, etc. I believe that each ruler of the planet Earth must do everything in his hand power so that at least not a single person goes hungry. Since there is famine even in the animals. Until today, there is not a single ruler worthy of deserving such a distinction. All of, or almost all, have failed in the attempt to make great his nation, there few exceptions. Many people have made and at present are doing big contribution. Also at present they are doing a fine job to humanity and to do science and other like AMLO, and all of them could become deserving of such pleasant distinction in the eyes of God, if they set it themselves and keep on with good work. I believe that the best nation in the world is the one that all its members are happy, work with pleasure, be proud of their land, their way of life, their uses, their habits, their belief, and way that they are guided, in the way that they live, in the development of their life and their own family through their existence. It is the nation where there is no collective hatred, intolerance, arrogance, authoritarianism, slavery, or racism, or classism, and there are job opportunities for all its members. It is the nation in which the basic essentials get covered with food, clothing, footwear, health, education, security, recreation, religion, and housing. Is it, is it a country where there is not extreme poverty, or is very little or reduced, taking into account the own definition of the term extreme poverty, but there is not any homeless at all in the streets? With hunger in the stomach, you don't think well, one don't act correctly, one don't study well neither, you don't work at easy. Neither does it develop or progress as God commands and orders. It is the country where its citizens do not have to immigrate to other lands in search of opportunities, or fleeing or tyranny or oppression, wars, terrorism, hunger, etc. It is the country where there is always dish of food at least 3 times a day in the table, with nutrition food rich in vitamins and nutrients, not junk modified or altered food. It is the country where all its inhabitants willingly pay their taxes that in theory will be supposed to be only the 10% total of your assets, consumption, and services of legal age, including ECR, VAT, and property tax. They should not record cars, neither food, neither other ones, neither payable. Total should exceed 10% of total taxes to be paid. Where they are poor or billionaires, for some reason the billionaire is billionaire, they should pay 10% of his billion. Neither God himself received more than teeth, much less other people or badly managed governments, arbitraries or corrupt in their functions, laws, statutes, or regulation. If a billionaire does not agree to pay tribute, I believe that the badly being promulgation of the proportional expropriation of illicit material or services and or illicit enrichment should be validated for treason to democracy, to the sovereignty, to the fatherland, and to the system. It is the country that takes care of protect the finances collected, inflation, devaluation, depreciation, saving fund of the old age of your inhabitants, the financial bubble, etc. I believe that each country is not supposed to exceed in having 10% of immigrants for other countries in its territory of the total number of members, in order that keeping in good condition its own identity is preserved. I believe that the president of every country should have in account and in his mind that when he is going to take a critical, extreme, or radical decision, he should have in his back and in his shoulder and in his being the responsibility of all his inhabitants' effort. For example, the plumber, carpenter, electrician, doctor, fireman, gardener, bricklayer, flower seller, and ship captain, etc., among others. He should remember that he represents each and every one of us, and not political or economic interests or corrupted treaties or evil deals. and take into mind that the decision made will benefit us or harm to all members, as the case may be. Only this way we will all get ahead as a nation, or we will perish in the attempt, or almost all. An entire race, ethnic group, town or city could cease to exist or affect the entire country, and in extreme case harm other countries, every or great part of the continent, or the entire world itself. And nobody in this earth is God to decide who dies and who lives, who to enrich or who impoverish, neither to judge the other people in order to be worthy of this privilege. First have to be to judge oneself to one, and after to all and to everything else in this planet Earth. Then God got us, without asking nothing of change, only to obey His 11 commandments. Love each other, the one to the other ones, as I have loved them. Thanks for listening to me. Subscribe, please. Like it or don't like it. And until the next writing. Bye.